Hey friends, welcome back to Gang Grit Sports with George Conrad. It's Monday, October 20th, 2025. And normally at this time of the year, a big baseball guy like me probably would start out with the fact that tonight is the Game 7 of the ALCS between the Seattle Mariners and the Toronto Blue Jays to see who gets to go to the World Series against the Dodgers. But I'll tell you what, any sports podcast that has grit in their name has to start out with this lead story: the fourth period of the Denver Broncos yesterday against the New York Giants. Folks, I'll tell you what, that game started out looking like all Giants. The Broncos just didn't look like they wanted to be out there, but a lot of crazy facts came out of this game. And I want to start with Delta House, with my boys Jackson Dart and Cam Scattaboo, Otter and Bluto from the Delta House, from the Animal House. That's what I like to call them. And boy, they didn't disappoint. Got a bunch of notes here, so you're going to have to forgive me. Just a crazy game. I had to have a bunch of notes here. So let's start with this. Jackson Dart threw for 283 yards and 3 touchdowns. He also ran one in that short play to give the Giants the lead back in the fourth period. He muscled in from 1 yard out. Cam Scattaboo had 94 total yards, 19 touches. He scored a touchdown. I mean, the boys didn't disappoint. Let's be honest. They went out there and they played the game. I mean, Dart did throw an interception in the fourth period, but boy, that was just a great play by the defensive player. So all in all, I'd say Giants looked great yesterday. They really did. Just kind of dropped the ball at the end. But do we want to say that, or do we want to give credit to Bo Nix? I'm going to give credit to Bo Nix because let's start out with this. First of all, yesterday was DT Day, Demaryius Thomas. They were honoring number 88 yesterday, putting him in the Ring of Honor. Lot of 10-year anniversary of their Super Bowl victory with Peyton Manning and Thomas on the team. Everybody got together for that and to honor Thomas for being put up in the Ring of Fame at the stadium. And what a tremendous thing! Peyton Manning was there. Saw a little bit of him. I'm a big Peyton Manning fan, so anytime I see Peyton, it's a good thing. But started out with that great day in Denver, beautiful weather, everything else, But then the game started, and through 3 quarters, the Broncos were getting shut out. So let me throw this fact out at you. In the 66-year history of the Denver Broncos, they've never been shut out at home. Never been shut out at home. And yesterday, going into the fourth period, almost looked like that. Well, getting close to the fourth period anyways, because they were within field goal range by the time the fourth quarter started. But but they are also, another quick fact here, as they went into that with 0 points, they also became the first team in NFL history to score 33 points in the fourth quarter after being shut out for the first 3 quarters. That's something else. And let's start with this. Let's start with the fourth quarter wrap up. Okay, so the fourth quarter started. Giants are up 19-0. Broncos are driving. They're probably in field goal range. Kind of looks like that, but they end up scoring a touchdown. Nix threw a pass to Franklin to get them on the board. They got the 2-point conversion, cut the lead to 19-8. Then Theo Johnson, the tight end for the Giants, gets lucky, catches a immaculate tip pass, almost like Franco Harris, and takes it in 41 yards to give to extend the lead back to 26-8. And at that point, there was 10:14 left on the clock. So now what's going to happen? Nix just comes out calmly and has a 13-play, 80-yard drive that he leads. And he wrapped that up by scampering 7 yards to score the touchdown. They got another 2-point conversion. They cut the lead to 26-16. But that was with 5:16 left. Or 5:19 left, sorry. So with 5:20 left, they were still down 18 points. No team has ever come back from that kind of a deficit. So then after that, then what happened? The defensive play of the game. I talked about it. I brought up Dart threw an interception in the fourth period. He was trying to lob the ball over the defensive line to a receiver, and Justin, I'm not going to say his name right. I'm going to say Strnad, because that's the way it's spelled. It's not Strand. It is spelled Strnad. Strnad, I don't know. If you know, tell me. Put it in the comments. Help me out there with that. But he tipped the ball and then intercepted it, and that set the Broncos up. The Knicks drove them down just 4 plays. That's all it took. But tip ball, this time instead of intercepting it, when the Giants tipped it, it goes into the hands of R.J. Harvey. He scores a touchdown. That cuts the lead to 26-23. Now they're within a field goal. They just need the ball back, kick a field goal, and go to overtime. I think that's what they were shooting for, right, at that point. But then shades of the Orange Crush. The defense woke up finally and created a 3-and-out. Well, now 6 plays and 68 yards later, the Broncos are knocking on the doorstep again, and Nix takes it in himself, 18 yards, and that puts the Broncos up 30-26. Oh my gosh, that just insane. But did they leave too much time on the clock? Apparently they did, because now Jackson Dart's fired up again. He's driving the team down the field and gets a long pass interference down at the 2-yard line. Sean Payton lost his head, went out on the field, got called for an unsportsmanlike conduct, half the distance to the goal. It's only a yard, but it puts it on the 1-yard line where Dart snuck it in. Now what happens? Well, there's a guy named Jude McAdamany. Again, what's with these names? Let's make it easy, like Harris. That's an easy name for me. Clemente's even easier than these names. But anyways, this Jude McAdamany, he missed his second extra point of the game. So now the score is 32-30. Now the Broncos can win it, but there's only 37 seconds left. What's going to happen? Well, they got the ball. They ran it back. They didn't take a knee. They ran it back, ate up a few seconds. There's 33 seconds left. They come out, and they got a long ways to go. Nix throws the ball down the field. Marvin Mims makes a great catch in between like 3 defenders. Plus, a Denver receiver was reaching for the ball, almost knocked it down. It gets to Mims. He catches the ball, takes it straight to the center of the field. They're hustling up. Nix clocks the ball. They come back out. Forgot Brian Burns jumps off sides, gives him an extra 5 yards. Then he throws a sideline pass to Cortland Sutton, but Sutton can't get out of bounds. At least he's smart enough to get up and sprint to the middle of the field, hand the ball to the referee. They get lined up and clock it with 2 seconds left. And now Will Lutz comes out and kicks a 39-yard field goal. And the Denver Broncos honor DT, Demaryius Thomas, and win on his day in an epic comeback. Now, we have a few more things to talk about here. Here's some more facts. 1,602 consecutive games in the NFL in which teams were trailing by 18 or more with less than 6 minutes left. They did not come back and win. 1,602 consecutive games. Never happened. But it happened yesterday with the Broncos. And as I mentioned before, no team has ever scored 33 points in the fourth quarter after being shut out for the first 3 quarters. There's another one. And then let's add one more. Let's talk about Bo Nix one more time. He's the first player ever. Are you ready for this? Can you imagine? With all the great players we have, with all the great running quarterbacks that are in the league now, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, Patrick Mahomes, Bo Nix became yesterday the first player to ever throw for 2 and run for 2 touchdowns in the fourth quarter. I'll tell you what, Bo Nix is the gang grit player of the week. We're going ahead and giving it to him right now. We got 2 games coming on Monday, but Bo Nix has earned it. Oh my gosh, what a great comeback. And he's one of my favorite players. I decided to go with civilian garb today. But one of my choices was to put my Bo Nix jersey on because I do have one. I was wearing my Broncos hat earlier today, running around doing some errands. And I'm not going to lie, folks. I mean, I don't want to do a homer show, but I do love the Broncos. I love Sean Payton. I love Bo Nix. I love a lot of guys on that team. It's a gritty team. It's a team I can get behind. The Giants are another team that are like that. I love the Steelers. I root for the Steelers because my friends and family do. And I love them too. I love watching them. I'm a big Aaron Rodgers guy. But I got to tell you, man, the Giants have jumped up there to number 3. I really like Dart. I really like Scadaboo. That Delta House combination, boy, they're going to go a long, long way if they all stay healthy. So, but that's not all that happened in the NFL yesterday. So let me give you a couple more little tidbits here. I mean, there was a lot of great performances. I mean, I'm going to miss a bunch of them. I mean, McCaffrey had a great game for the Niners. Jonathan Taylor scored 3 touchdowns against the Chargers. The Eagles' passing game came alive. Both Devontae Smith and A.J. Brown had huge games. Hurts had his best game, and probably it had to have been at least a full season, maybe 2 seasons. They mentioned it something during the broadcast. He hasn't had this good of a game since such and such. I didn't note it. I apologize. But, we all know the Eagles' passing offense hasn't been very spectacular this year. In fact, their whole offense hasn't been spectacular. My man Saquon Barkley, he's still great, man. He's still probably one of the best running backs in the league. But, after carrying the ball a gazillion times last year for 18 bazillion yards, the dude's worn out probably. I don't know. But, they're struggling a little bit. But these are professional teams. They make adjustments from one game to another, from one season to another. So the Eagles, though, they found their game yesterday against the Vikings. And the Vikings they've had a great pass defense up to this point. So even more impressive. So let's see what happens with the Eagles going forward, especially after the Cowboys had a great game yesterday and won. That was a big surprise. But, and then also the Packers. The Packers had a big comeback as well. They were down big to the Arizona Cardinals with substitute quarterback Jacoby Brissett, Mr. Backup, coming in and leading the way. Trey McBride caught a couple of touchdowns, but the Packers came back too. So all in all, yesterday was just a fantastic day in the NFL. I mean, we did have a few blowouts, but in the end, I mean, we just saw a lot of great performances. I'm sure there's a lot of fantasy football owners who are very, very happy after yesterday, and there are a lot that aren't so happy. Caleb Williams owners, the Bears won again. The running game was fantastic yesterday, but Caleb Williams, he looked like he wasn't sure what he was doing again yesterday. So hopefully he's going to come around in that Ben Johnson offense, because I enjoy watching the Bears play too. I want to see them come out and run that Johnson offense like Detroit did whenever he was their OC. So let's see what happens in the coming weeks with that. But that about wraps it up with football for this week's segment. And we're going to talk about the ALCS real quick. So tonight is Game 7. Everything started out, I was talking about the home field curse. It seemed like the Mariners won the first 2 games in Toronto. Toronto won going back to Seattle. Then they started flip-flopping games. Each team is 1-2 at home at this point, and tonight's game is in Toronto. But of course, that doesn't give them an advantage. Now we do have a repeat pitching matchup, and this is one that I posted about in the group. And we got Kirby going for Seattle, we got Bieber going for Toronto. And in my analysis, whenever they pitched, I believe it was in game 3, was it? Yeah, game 3. I thought Kirby, Bieber. He's great pitchers, had a great career, but I just thought he was down a little bit this year. I thought George Kirby's been really, really good this year, so I kind of gave the edge to the Mariners, and then Bieber outpitched him. But who knows what's going to happen tonight? I got to be honest with you. I mean, if I had to pick somebody, I think I would pick Seattle, because I don't expect Bieber to have 2 good games in a row, but this guy is a wily veteran. He's crafty. He knows what it takes to win, and I think the Blue Jays might be primed. So who knows? This could come down to Jays walking it off in the bottom of the 9th or something. But it could also be a blowout, because as we've seen, both of these teams can explode on offense. We'll see which pitcher steps up tonight and who gets to go and face Shohei Ohtani and the LA Dodgers in the World Series. Might be maybe they want to stay home. I don't know. But anyways, now one more thing I do want to mention. And this kind of is going to be off topic for, it's going to sound like it's off topic for Skynyrd Sports. But as it is October 20th, I'm going to bring up something that, if you stick around to the end, I think you'll understand why I'm talking about this in relation to Skynyrd Sports. So this is the anniversary of the Lynyrd Skynyrd plane crash, 1977. And the reason that I felt like this was something that was worthwhile bringing up with Gang Grit was, growing up in Altoona, PA, big high school, we had probably 2,500 kids, maybe more, between 10th, 11th, and 12th grade. The 9th grade and below went to the junior high. That's how it's set up at Altoona. So that's the one group was the class of 81, 82, and 83 when we were all there together, when the class of 81 was seniors. Just a lot of athletes, and a lot of athletes who were really into music. When we got together for parties on the weekend, always music. We had music on before we had sports on the TV at our parties in high school. We had sports in the background. We did, but we had lots of music playing. In the locker rooms, always music. On the bus trips, music. So I grew up with a bunch of people who were just really into playing sports, good athletes, great athletes, some of them. Troy Benson, class of 81, went on to Pitt and then played for the Jets for a number of years. So we had a lot of really great athletes, but we were all into music, and we were all into rock music. And one of the bands that got played from junior high through my senior year anyways was Lynyrd Skynyrd. You would hear Lynyrd Skynyrd on every bus trip. At some point or another, Freebird would come on, right? Now, everybody has their favorite Skynyrd song. If I started listening to them all, I'd have another 29-minute podcast like the first one, but I'm not going to do that to you. I'm just going to say, my personal favorite Lynyrd Skynyrd song was The Ballad of Curtis Lowe. I don't know why. I can listen to that music or that song anytime, any mood. It fits. It just makes me smile. It's a great story within the song, and it's a really, really good song. But, Lynyrd Skynyrd, here we are, 1977, long, long time ago. Not quite 50 years, but getting close to 50 years ago since that plane crash went down. And, the previous generation, they had the day the music died when the Big Bopper and Richie Valens went down in a plane crash, died. And then my generation had Lynyrd Skynyrd. And so here's the thing. Today, Lynyrd Skynyrd is still one of the most popular rock bands in the world. I know that Ronnie Van Zant's little brother took over singing, and they just kept the band going. They even came up with new songs. But my generation, my guys, the sports guys, the athletes, my teammates, we listened to that old Lynyrd Skynyrd with Ronnie Van Zant, and again, we listened to it all the way through school. So a Gang Grit salute to heaven to Lynyrd Skynyrd. Thank you for keeping us entertained on all of our trips to our road games, in our locker rooms for our home games. And God bless everybody who is a big fan of Lynyrd Skynyrd. So I know some people are probably very, very sad today. I am. It's a little melancholy, just thinking about that. But let's get back to the good stuff here. I'm going to wrap this up. At this point right now, still generating without a studio, producing a lot of content on in the Facebook group, a lot of stuff on X. I'm at Gang Grit Sports on X. I'm Gang Grit Sports on Facebook. You don't have to put an at there. Please go and check out the group on Facebook. Please give me a follow on X if you're there, and then share us around. Help us out. One final thing to wrap up. I had a post earlier this week, and I'm going to confirm something. Planning. I got to confirm it yet with Mike over at Mike's Court. But at this point right now, in the works, my big brother Eddie McGinnis and I are going to get together at Mike's Court on Saturday, November 1st for an NCAA men's basketball kickoff. But what's going to be different about the Gang Grit Sports kickoff is that we're not going to talk about the upcoming season. Eddie and I are going to reminisce. We're going to talk about those gritty teams of the 70s and 80s, those college teams that we loved, like UCLA, Louisville, Villanova, Notre Dame, even back then. So Eddie and I are going to do a podcast from Mike's Court on Saturday, November 1st. So hopefully a bunch of people will stop by and see us. Hopefully you'll let us talk to each other and do the podcast. I'm going to try to bring Mike in and get some comments. And if this goes good, this could turn into a monthly feature where Eddie and I get together, pick a subject like 1970s NFL running backs or something like that, and just sit there and two old guys just BSing and having a beer together. So I think you guys will enjoy it. It'll almost be like you're sitting in the living room with us. So stay tuned and keep your eyes peeled for everything on Gang Grit. Please go to the group and like posts, share the post, comment. The more engagement we get, the better. And you guys know I'm trying to build something grassroots, on a shoestring budget. So do old George a favor and give us your support. And I'll see you soon. I am planning, depending on how the day job goes, planning a mini cast on Wednesday, and then I'll be back. Mondays are my day off on the lot. So I'll be back next Monday with a full-length podcast, and hopefully we have a lot of good stuff to talk about. God bless you, and I love you.